Hey Pretty Girl Club. So I wanted to make a part two to the video that I just made because it is still exotical cuffing season, baby. So I want to talk about this gender war that I see going on online and offline as well, and how it is affecting MLS men and women. So honestly, I don't really think there is a gender war. I think that what's happening is that a lot of women are just starting to decenter men. I think that for a lot of women, they are realizing how hard it is to have to bear children and then pay 50% of bills and then, still get cheated on, still get mistreated or whatever. So I feel like a lot of women are just choosing to opt out altogether. And I think that a lot of men genuinely did not have any other plans in their lives other than trying to attract a wife. Because you know how on this channel, or not even just a wife, either trying to attract a wife or trying to find a woman to sleep with them or trying to sleep with as many beautiful women as possible, trying to create their own harem of sorts. But we've talked on this channel about how everyone is chasing beauty, whether it's getting a beautiful house, having a beautiful car, attracting a beautiful wife or a beautiful girlfriend or a beautiful woman to sleep with, and having beautiful children. Everybody is chasing after beauty. So when you are the beautiful woman, as soon as you start having standards, then suddenly it becomes a problem. So I've noticed this dynamic where, especially if you're a woman, kind of like us exoticals on this channel, maybe you're a pretty MLS woman, you also have like your own education and things like that. I think that sometimes a man will come in and he will not be able to see how he can really enhance your life because men think about dating oftentimes in terms of sex and stuff like that. And a lot of women tend to think about dating in terms of lifestyle. Like, what does my life look like as Tyrone's girlfriend? So if Tyrone is a drug dealer, does my life look like, oh, I might get caught up and I might catch a case? Or does my life look like my children might be abandoned later on? So I think a lot of women, we think about the lifestyle that we're going to end up living with that guy in terms of relationships. And I think a lot of men don't understand that, especially men who are not builders, men who are like, they don't happen to be the protective, provisional type. And I actually don't believe that men are naturally protectors and providers, by the way. So I'm not sure where that narrative came from. I don't believe that most men that you'll meet are natural protectors and providers. I think that a lot of men will protect and provide for themselves. I think a lot of men are naturally very self-preserving, which is actually not a bad quality. To be honest, I actually think men are quite smart. I've learned a lot of I've learned a lot of good qualities from men and from my father. So I'm not trying to make it like all men are evil or anything like that. But as far as following up on my last video about Tia Mowry and Corey Hardrict and how, people are getting mad at Tia saying like, oh, well, she just left him because she was bored and that's bad. So let me talk about my past as an MLS woman who can relate to a person like Tia Mowry. Do you know how many times I've been called boring by guys? I got called boring. By the way, I went to an HBCU. I've always dated MLS men as my type in the past or whatever. My current boyfriend is an MLS man as well. But when I was single or whatever, I got called boring by MLS men. These are college educated MLS men at an HBCU. I got called boring for the following reasons. I don't smoke. I don't drink. At the time that I was in college, I was still a virgin. I didn't really go out and party like how the other girls did. Sometimes guys would call me boring if I did not give them the sexual attention and the validation they desired. So men will call women boring for not drinking, smoking, not going out and partying. But then those same men will call women hoes if you do those things. So let's say you are out smoking, drinking, partying, and sleeping around. Now suddenly you're a hoe. So I think a lot of women, they're realizing the double standards, and this is why women are also raising our own standards. And then when it comes to lifestyle, because some people are like, oh, well, women just want to be kind of the strong, independent woman or whatever. But I think when it comes to the quote unquote strong, independent women, I think what's happening is those women already have their own money, right? So let's say you already pay to get your own hair done, your own nails done every 2 weeks. Let's say you already pay for a housekeeper on your own. Let's say you have kids and you already pay for a nanny. And then when a man comes in and wants to date you, you are expecting him to pay for that or contribute to that, or you're expecting to at least maintain the lifestyle you had. I think that where men make the mistake is they want to come into a woman's life like that. They'll be attracted to a woman like that, a woman who's ambitious, like a Tia Mowry type. They'll be attracted to that because they're like, wow, she's so talented. Look at all the amazing things she's doing. And then they will want her to sacrifice all of what she has built on her own so that she can then, do her duties, for lack of better words, as a wife and a mother. And I think that the problem here is that I've noticed a lot of men, they tend to operate not based on actual love in the emotional sense, but a lot of men operate solely based on duty. So they'll say, I'm staying with my wife because that's what a good man does. So it has nothing to do with him actually loving her or actually thinking she's a beautiful, lovely, amazing person. And I know I'm going to get trolled for both of these videos that I recently posted, but that's fine because I'll just ban any men from the channel who try to say any woman hating talking points. But they'll want women to kind of abandon whatever life they had before him, and men see it as, no, I'm doing my duty, so you need to do your duty. But I think that what a lot of men don't realize is that when two people come together to be in a relationship, you guys should both be kind of enhancing each other's lives, as opposed to, oh no, the woman gives up everything she ever had so that she can be kind of in the background of the man's life, kind of like a Jada Pinkett type of thing. That's what Jada Pinkett did. And she talked about it in her interviews, and she talks about it in her book, how she was at the peak of her acting career, and Will wanted her to, forego her acting career, or like kind of put it on the back burner so that she could focus on being with him and like all that stuff. And that's why Jada Pinkett was unhappy when she went through with the marriage, because she knew that she was giving up her whole life, but she was hoping that it would be worth it because, while she's taking care of the kids and stuff, then Will could go out and he could actually go get all of the good acting jobs and give them more money. So she thought that the money that he would attain would be worth the sacrifice that she was making. And I think this is where a lot of women mess up, because that's too male-centered of a talking point. Like, yes, it's wonderful to have a marriage and stuff, but women are human beings as well. So we also have our own dreams and goals and interests and, stuff that we want to do in life outside of simply washing dishes and raising children. And I'm not trying to discredit women who do those things, but I'm just saying I've never in my life met a woman who said, oh, my goal in life is to wash dishes and clean a man's dirty underwear. That's my goal. And I just want to raise kids and walk around barefoot and pregnant, and that's it. No, usually a woman wants to also do other stuff in addition to being a wife and mother, but I think a lot of men can have a hard time viewing a woman's identity outside of her relations to a man. So it's like, if you're not submitted to a man, if you're not pursuing a relationship with a man, and if you're kind of like this independent woman who is single and stuff and kind of living life on your own terms, a lot of men, they don't understand that because they don't know how to identify a woman based on her humanity. They only view women based on how she relates to him, what she can do to him. Oftentimes, if you ask a guy to describe love, or if you ask him why he loves his woman, he will begin naming the things that she does for him. He will begin naming how she serves him and how she has given up or sacrificed pieces of her own identity to appease him. So this is very beneficial for men, of course, but when it comes to women, a lot of women actually lose their identities in relationships, whereas men tend to gain a sense of identity from relationships. So I think that is where this whole, I wouldn't call it an actual gender war. I would say if you're an incel type of guy, then yes, it is a gender war for you, because now you're even further away from getting a woman that you wanted, but I don't think it's an actual gender war. I just think it's some people not understanding how relationships work or not having anything to offer the other person. And especially if you're the type of man who is attracted to a very ambitious, very classy, very upwardly mobile woman like a Tia Mowry type, if you're attracted to that type, you're going to have to come with it, meaning you're going to have to match that energy. So you're going to have to be just as much of a builder long term, because Tia has been actively working on her career and succeeding at it and doing all different types of things, from vlogging and YouTubing to acting to, influencing. She's been doing all of these things for decades now. And Corey Hardrick, he just couldn't keep up. And a lot of people, they will just end up growing apart. So I think that is something that often happens to men is, there are plenty of pick-me's that you can go and get with. It's like, do you see how many girls are over in the red pill space or, those types of women? Why not go to those women? Why are you here watching the Exoticals United YouTube channel? Why are you pursuing a Tia Mori? Why are you seeking out us quote unquote modern women or Jezebels or hoes or whatever you want to call us? Why are you even giving us attention in time of day? Because you know that you're still building our status by giving us attention, right? You're still building my channel's watch time or still causing me to get more money in my pocket by simply viewing this video. Even if you're hate watching, even if you're disliking, you're still causing my channel to go up in the algorithm, right? You're still giving Tia Mori clout by even mentioning her name on your celebrity news channel. So you're actually causing her to be seen by more potential suitors. And this is what a lot of men don't understand. Like, they will actually screw themselves over because they'll spend all of this time. They'll say, oh, I want a woman who's traditional, but then they'll spend all of their time, energy, and attention focusing on women who are very non-traditional. You'll see them bumping Cardi B music. You'll hear them talking about, women like Meg Thee Stallion or whatever. And it's like, I thought you did not want these women. So why are you paying more attention to the quote unquote Jezebels or the bad women? Why are you paying more attention to them than you are to the good, wholesome girl? You know what I mean? So anyway, why do you guys think that a lot of MLS couples don't work out? Why do you think there is a gender war? What do you think it came from? Do you think it will ever end? Or do you think that, you like the state of where things are? Because to be honest, for me, the grass was greener on the other side. And I do think that the grass has been a lot greener for me since decentering men as a whole. And I think that the same can be said for many other women who have decentered men. By the way, this doesn't mean you can't date. It doesn't mean that you can't love. It doesn't mean that all men are bad. And if you come on my channel trying to say that I'm saying that, then you will immediately be banned. But what do you ladies think? Let me know in the comment section and I'll talk to you next time. Stay pretty, ladies.